All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program at 11 a.m. today. India and Bangladesh say partnership between two countries evolved as a model for bilateral relations for entire region. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bangladeshi counterpart Sheikh Hasina jointly inaugurate new passenger train between two countries. West Bengal records more than 82% voter turnout and Assam over 77% in the first phase of assembly elections. Two terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces in Shopian district of Jammu and Kashmir. Gujarat government makes negative RT-PCR report must to enter the state from 1st of April amid surge in coronavirus cases. India crosses milestone of administering over 6 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine. Registration of pilgrims for Amarnath Yatra to start on 1st of April. In cricket, India will take on England in the third and final ODI in Pune this afternoon. And in badminton, Indian pair of Krishna Prasad Garga and Vishnu Bardhan enters men's doubles finals of the Orleans Masters in Paris. As the number of COVID cases are on the rise again, we appeal to our listeners not to lower the guard, follow all the precautions and all those above 45 years to get vaccinated without any hesitation. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. today. It will be the 75th episode of the monthly radio program. The program will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan and also on AIR News website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR mobile app. It will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of AIR, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will be repeated at 8 in the evening. India and Bangladesh have said that the partnership between the two countries has evolved as a model for bilateral relations for the entire region. A joint statement issued after the talks between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bangladeshi counterpart Sheikh Hasina in Dhaka said that Mr. Modi's visit symbolized the partnership of half a century between the two countries. The statement said this partnership has strengthened, matured and evolved as a model for bilateral relations for the entire region. The talks between the two leaders were marked by great warmth and cordiality. The two leaders expressed satisfaction at the excellent state of bilateral relations based on deep historical and fraternal ties which reflect an all-encompassing bilateral partnership based on equality, trust and understanding. Recognizing that terrorism remains a threat to global peace and security, both sides reiterated a strong commitment to eliminating terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. India and Bangladesh yesterday signed MOUs in key sectors, including trade and technology, to foster bilateral ties after talks between the two leaders. Mr. Modi and Ms. Hasina virtually inaugurated several projects during Prime Minister Modi's visit to Bangladesh. The two leaders unveiled the foundation stone for the construction of a memorial at Ashuganj honoring the martyrs of Indian Armed Forces in the 1971 Liberation War of Bangladesh. Prime Minister Modi and his Bangladesh counterpart jointly inaugurated a new passenger train, Mitali Express, between Dhaka and New Jalpaiguri in West Bengal. The train will run between Dhaka Cantonment and New Jalpaiguri via Chilahati, a border railway station in Bangladesh. The train will run from New Jalpaiguri to Dhaka Cantonment on Sunday and Wednesday and Dhaka Cantonment to New Jalpaiguri on Monday and Thursday. It is expected to give boost to tourism in both the countries. This is the third passenger train after Maitri Express, Dhaka and Kolkata, and Bandhan Express, Khulna, Kolkata, running between the two neighbouring countries. Briefing the media about Prime Minister Modi's Bangladesh visit, Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla said the service will start when normalcy is restored. Both countries had suspended railway services after the COVID-19 pandemic broke out. Mr. Shringla said the Prime Minister also laid the foundation stone for infrastructure development for power evacuation facilities from the Rupur nuclear power plant.
The Prime Minister laid the foundation stone for 5 packages of the Rupur power evacuation project, which is an important component of the line of credit, the third line of credit that India has extended to Bangladesh. There are a total of 8 packages, and 5 packages have been now for which foundation stone has been laid. And the transmission line costs over $1 billion. This is a very important component of the LOC, as I mentioned. The 2 Prime Ministers also inaugurated 3 border huts on the borders between our 2 countries, and of course new facilities as the Rabindra Bhavan at Kutibadi.
The Foreign Secretary informed that India also gifted 109 life support ambulances to Bangladesh and also COVID-19 vaccine doses. 3 border huts were also opened along the India-Bangladesh border. Early on the concluding day of his 2-day visit to Bangladesh yesterday, the Prime Minister visited places of historical importance and temples in Bangladesh. Addressing Matua community at Orakandi, Mr. Modi said both India and Bangladesh want to see stability, love and peace in the world instead of instability, terror and unrest.
भारत और बांग्लादेश दोनों ही देश अपने विकास को अपनी प्रगति से पूरे विश्व की प्रगति देखना चाहते हैं। दोनों ही देश दुनिया में अस्थिरता, आतंक और अशांति की जगह स्थिरता, प्रेम और शांति चाहते हैं। यही मूल्य, यही शिक्षा श्री श्री हरिचांद ठाकुर देव जी ने हमें दी थी।
Mr. Modi offered prayers at the centuries-old Jeshoreshwari Kali temple at Ishwaripur village in Shatkhira district of Bangladesh yesterday. This was Prime Minister Modi's first visit to a foreign country after the outbreak of COVID-19. The visit coincided with epochal event celebrations of the Golden Jubilee of the independence of Bangladesh, the birth centenary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and 50 years of establishment of diplomatic relations between India and Bangladesh.
West Bengal has recorded more than 82% voter turnout and Assam registered over 77% polling in the first phase of assembly elections. The voting was held in 47 constituencies across 12 districts of Assam and for 30 constituencies across 5 districts in West Bengal. The Election Commission has said the first phase of assembly elections in the 2 states was conducted successfully yesterday across 21,825 polling stations spread over 77 assembly constituencies. In Assam, the fate of 264 candidates has been sealed in the first of the 3-phase elections. In West Bengal, 191 candidates, including 21 women, were in the fray during the initial phase. Barring a few stray incidents, polling was by and large peaceful. State Chief Electoral Officer Aris Aftab said 10 persons were arrested in 3 separate incidents yesterday. The state is witnessing 8-phase elections this time. After the completion of first phase of assembly elections, campaigning has gained momentum for the remaining phases in Assam and West Bengal and also for the single-phase elections in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, as well as the Union Territory of Puducherry. 39 assembly constituencies of Assam and 30 constituencies of West Bengal will go to polls for the second phase on 1st of April. Third phase of polling for the 40 seats of Assam and 31 seats of West Bengal will be held on 6th of April. The single-phase polling in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, along with the Union Territory of Puducherry, will also be held on 6th of next month. Besides, the Lok Sabha by-polls will be conducted simultaneously for Malappuram seat in Kerala and for Kanyakumari seat in Tamil Nadu. BJP President J.P. Nadda has said that AIADMK was a regional party with a nationalist mind. Electioneering at Thiruvayaru in Tamil Nadu, Mr. Nadda said that his party is happy to be in the alliance. Union Minister Smriti Irani, campaigning at Chennai, joined the BJP workers in Kollatam while canvassing. CPM Politburo M member Brinda Karat, campaigning in Madurai, said that the AIADMK government is a mere puppet in the hands of the BJP and is not receptive to the views of the people, but only had ears for the BJP. AIADMK Joint Secretary and Chief Minister Palaniswamy sought the attention of the voters by describing their achievements. DMK leader Stalin accused the ruling party of being inactive to people's needs. In another development, the Chief Electoral Officer Satyabrata Sahu said that bike rallies will be banned 72 hours before the data poll in all the constituencies of the state. Elections involve fierce contests. During the campaigning, heated exchanges of charges and counter-charges remain the order of the day. However, there are some humour as well in the electoral battle, as being seen in some parts of Tamil Nadu, where a candidate promises the moon. A report.
Political parties in Tamil Nadu are vying with each other in making what the observers say extravagant promises to the electors, including several freebies and monthly doles. An independent candidate in Madurai South Assembly constituency has come out with a manifesto of unbelievably tall orders and distant dreams. He promises every voter to send them to the moon. His list of freebies include helicopters, 3-storied houses with swimming pools, and iPhones for all. Another humorous aspect in the Tamil Nadu elections is that several seats witnessed the battle of the namesakes. A case in point is the Jolarpet seat. There are several Devarajis and Veeramanis, exactly resembling the names of the DMK and the AIADMK candidates. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
In Kerala, the postal voting for the essential services sector begins from today. More from our Thiruvananthapuram correspondent.
The polling will happen at special polling booths at respective constituencies across 14 districts till 30th of this month. The voting begins from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. Polling will be conducted abiding to strict COVID protocols. Meanwhile, as just 9 days are left for the assembly polls, the state is witnessing heated campaigning from all the three major fronts. Union Minister Rajnath Singh will participate in the NTA campaigns at Varkala, Kottayam, Thrissur and Ernakulam today. Mayush Shah, AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program at 11 a.m. today. India and Bangladesh say partnership between the two countries evolved as a model for bilateral relations for the entire region. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bangladeshi counterpart Sheikh Hasina jointly inaugurate new passenger train between two countries. West Bengal records more than 82% voter turnout and Assam over 77% in the first phase of assembly elections. 2 terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces in Shopian district of Jammu and Kashmir. Gujarat government makes negative RT-PCR report must to enter the state from 1st of April amid surge in coronavirus cases. India crosses milestone of administering over 6 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine. Registration of pilgrims for Amarnath Yatra to start from 1st of April. In cricket, India will take on England in the third and final ODI in Pune this afternoon. And in badminton, Indian pair of Krishna Prasad Garga and Vishnu Vardhan enters men's doubles finals of All Lanes Masters in Paris. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Welcome back. You are listening to the morning news. India has crossed the milestone of administering over 6 crore COVID-19 vaccine doses. Continuing with its largest vaccination drive in the world, the nation administered over 15 lakh doses yesterday till late evening. India is one of the fastest countries in the world to achieve the 6 crore mark in a short span of only 71 days. The nation commenced the largest vaccination drive in the world on 16 January this year with vaccination of healthcare workers. The centers advise states and union territories witnessing surge in COVID-19 cases to focus on stringent containment and public health measures in 46 high-burden districts to contain the coronavirus infection. The central government yesterday held a high-level review meeting with 12 states and union territories which are reporting surge in COVID-19 cases. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan chaired the review meeting with additional chief secretaries, principal secretaries and health secretaries of states and municipal commissioners and district collectors of 46 districts that are the most affected by rising cases and mortality because of COVID-19. These states are Maharashtra, Gujarat, Haryana, Tamil Nadu, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir, Karnataka, Punjab and Bihar. During the meeting, it was also highlighted that the concept of second wave reflected more laxity among everyone regarding COVID-appropriate behavior and COVID containment and management strategy at the ground level. Hence, stringent action including effective containment and contact tracing for at least 14 successive days in the 46 districts was strongly recommended for breaking the chain of transmission and not frittering away the gains of collaborative efforts of last year. States also advised enforcement of COVID-appropriate behavior through penal measures like heavy fines, which send strong exemplary message among the people. It also stressed on muted celebrations of festivals like Holi, Shab-e-Barat and Easter, with emphasis on keeping the celebrations inside the confines of the house.
Gujarat government has made negative RT-PCR report a must to enter the state from 1st of April. The test report should not be older than 72 hours. The decision was taken in view of a surge in COVID-19 case in recent times. Our correspondent reports that the state recorded 2,276 cases yesterday. This is the highest daily count so far. A total of 1,534 people were discharged from hospitals during the day. We have more from our correspondent.
The number of active cases in the state has risen to 10,871. At 760, Surat recorded the highest number of new cases in the state yesterday, followed by Ahmedabad with 612 cases, Vadodara with 326 cases, and Rajkot with 172 cases. The new wave of COVID-19 in the state has also hit two of the country's premium education institutes such as IIM Ahmedabad and IIT Gandhinagar. According to official sources, the IIM Ahmedabad currently has 40 active cases of COVID-19, while IIT Gandhinagar has 25 active cases. Meanwhile, more than 2,98,000 people were vaccinated in the state during the day. Aparna Khun, AR News, Ahmedabad.
A total of 1,558 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection were reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 6,55,000. In wake of rise in COVID-19 cases in the national capital, Deputy Commissioner Northeast of Delhi's District Disaster Management Authority, Deepika Sharma, has appealed to people not to celebrate the upcoming festivals of Holi, Navratri and Shab-e-Barat in public places. She urged people to take COVID vaccines instead of celebrating Holi with colors this year.
कोरोना के बढ़ते हुए केसेस को देखते हुए अभी जो त्योहार आ रहे हैं जैसे कि होली, शबे बारात, नवरात्रि इत्यादि, इनको हम किसी भी सार्वजनिक स्थल पर ना मनाएं, अपने घर में ही परिवारजनों के साथ मनाएं, जिससे ये जो केस बढ़ रहे हैं इन पर रोक लगाई जाए। सभी से मेरा अनुरोध है, मास्क जरूर लगाएं, बार बार हाथ धोते रहें, इधर उधर थूके नहीं और हर समय 2 गज की दूरी बनाए रखें। इस बार होली रंग से ना मनाएं बल्कि वैक्सीन लगवाएं और इस बीमारी को फैलने से रोकें।
Delhi Metro Rail Corporation has said that metro services will not be available till 2:30 p.m. on all lines of Delhi Metro, including Rapid Metro and Airport Express line on the festival of Holi tomorrow. It said metro train services will start at 2:30 p.m. from terminal stations on all lines on the same day and will continue normally thereafter. Due to a massive spike in the number of COVID-19 cases in Maharashtra, the state government said that Holi this year should be celebrated in a simple manner, observing social distancing norms and without coming together in any way, given the increasing spread of COVID-19. The government ordered that no big religious or cultural programs should be organized on the day of Holi and Rang Panchami. Those violating the orders will be booked under the Disaster Management Act, Maharashtra COVID-19 regulations and Section 188, disobedience to order duly promulgated by public servant of the IPC. In continuation to that, night curfew got imposed from the midnight of 27 March, where more than 5 people will not be allowed to gather together. Besides, all public places that includes gardens and beaches will remain closed from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m.
In view of the rising COVID-19 cases in Telangana, state government has made wearing face mask compulsory and imposed restrictions on public gatherings, congregations, rallies and processions during the upcoming religious events. State Chief Secretary Somesh Kumar issued 2 separate government orders in this regard. Karnataka Health and Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar has appealed to people in Karnataka to follow COVID-appropriate behavior as the second wave of the pandemic sweeps across the country. To avert imminent danger, the minister asked people to wear masks and follow social distancing. He said that a positivity rate of 1.6% in the state is more than the national average, which is not a good sign. He informed that more than 1 lakh COVID tests are conducted in the state now every day. On vaccination drive, the minister informed that Bidar, Dharwad and Gadag districts have achieved over 100% vaccination and it was 61% in Bengaluru urban district.
Bihar government has banned public gathering or events on the day of Holi in the wake of surge in COVID cases. Additional Chief Secretary Home Chaitanya Prasad said district magistrates and senior superintendents of police have been instructed to ensure these orders are implemented strictly. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath inaugurated Shahid Ashfaq Ullah Khan Zoological Park in Gorakhpur yesterday. This is the first zoo in Purvanchal and the third in the state. More from a Gorakhpur correspondent.
In his address, the Chief Minister said that the construction of the zoo has been completed in a record time of 4 years. He added that the zoo will not only provide entertainment and learning to the people, but it has also opened the possibilities of tourism in the region. The Chief Minister said that the zoo has been named after great freedom fighter Shahid Ashfaq Ullah Khan. He said that the nation is celebrating 75th anniversary of its independence as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav this year, and it is a tribute to the great freedom fighter. The foundation of the Gorakhpur Zoo was laid a decade ago in May 2011, but its construction gained momentum after the year 2017. The zoo also has a 7D theatre with state-of-the-art facilities where audience will experience 13 effects such as rain, lighting, fog, smoke and fragrance. Aditya Shukla, AIR News, Gorakhpur.
In Jammu and Kashmir, 2 terrorists were killed in an encounter with security forces in Shopian district last evening. Police said a joint team of security forces launched a cordon and search operation, CASO, in Wangam area of the district, following the intelligence inputs about the presence of terrorists in the village. As the joint team approached towards the suspected spot, the terrorists fired upon them, and in retaliation, 2 terrorists were gunned down. The identity of the slain terrorist has been ascertained. Arms and ammunition have also been recovered from their possession. One army soldier also attained martyrdom in the encounter, while another injured soldier was admitted to Army's 92 base hospital in Srinagar.
Registration for the upcoming annual pilgrimage to the Himalayan cave shrine of Amarnath in South Kashmir will start from 1st of April. The 56-day yatra to the 3,880-meter high shrine is scheduled to start from twin routes of Pahalgam and Baltal on June 28 and culminate on August 22nd. Talking exclusively to AIR News, Chief Executive Officer of the Sri Amarnath Ji Shrine Board, Nitishwar Kumar said registration will be done through 446 designated bank branches of the Punjab National Bank, Jammu and Kashmir Bank and Yes Bank all over the country.
Registration we are starting from 1st of April. The registration will be carried out in 446 branches. There are 3 banks selected for this one. People who are less than 13 years or more than 75 years, they are not supposed to undertake the yatra. Yatris who either go by road or by helicopter, they must carry the compulsory health certificate. People who carry out yatra through helicopter, they do not require registration. They just need to carry the health certificate. Detailed step for all registration is on website www.sriamarnathshrine.com.
Sabarmati to Dandi March being organized as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav will proceed towards Surat district today on the 17th day. Kerala Governor Arif Muhammad Khan participated in the yatra yesterday at Sarod village in Bharuch district. Addressing the Padyatris, Mr. Khan said Dandi March has a significant place in the country's freedom struggle. It showed that the real power doesn't lie in money, number or any other physical resources, but it lies in self-empowerment. Our correspondent reports that the yatra will proceed towards Raima village in Surat district this morning.
United States has criticized the brutal killing of people by security forces in Myanmar. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said that Washington is horrified by yesterday's deaths in Myanmar. He said the killings reportedly of more than 100 people show that the junta will sacrifice the lives of the people to serve the few. He said the courageous people of Myanmar reject the military's reign of terror. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said he is deeply shocked. The lethal crackdown against civilians came as protesters defied warnings and took to the streets in towns and cities. In cricket, India will clash with England in the third and final ODI in Pune today. The match will start at 1:30 p.m. Both teams have won 1 match each, levelling the 3-match series 1-1. India will look to bounce back after suffering a 6-wicket loss in the second ODI on Friday.
In badminton, Indian duo of Krishna Prasad Garga and Vishnuvardhan will take on the 4th-seeded English combination of Ben Lane and Sean Bendy in the men's doubles title clash of All Lanes Masters in Paris today. Krishna and Vishnu beat English pair of Callum Hemming and Stephen Stallwood 21-17, 21-17 in the semi-final clash yesterday to reach their maiden final of a Super 100 event. However, Saina Nehwal bowed out of the tournament after losing to Denmark's Line Kristoffersen 17-21, 17-21, the women's singles semi-finals. The pair of Ashwini Ponnappa and N. Reddy also crashed out of the competition after faltering 18-12, 9-21 against a top-seeded Thai pair of Jungkook Pan, Kitty Tarakul and Ravinda Prajonjai in the women's doubles semi-finals. In the mixed doubles, Ashwini Ponnappa and Dhruv Kapila lost their semi-final match to Danish pair of Niklas Noor and Emily Maglund 9-21, 23-21, 7-21.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. National capital Delhi has mainly clear sky with minimum temperature of 17 degrees Celsius. The maximum temperature is likely to be around 36 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will also have mainly clear sky with temperature rising up to around 37 degrees Celsius. The minimum recorded temperature was 22 degrees. Chennai is expected to have partly cloudy sky with temperature rising from a minimum of 26 degrees Celsius to a maximum of around 35 degrees. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder and lightning with maximum temperature of 37 degrees Celsius. It recorded 26 degrees as the minimum temperature. Srinagar will have generally cloudy sky with light rain with the temperature hovering between 7 and 18 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Maximum temperature will be around 29 degrees Celsius while the minimum was 16 degrees Celsius. Leh will have generally cloudy sky. Here the maximum temperature will be around 11 degrees while the minimum was 1 degree Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have thunderstorm with rain. The upper limit of temperature will be around 22 degrees Celsius while minimum would be nearly 11 degrees. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with light rain with minimum temperature of 6 degrees Celsius and maximum around 23 degrees Celsius. Dehradun is likely to have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening with a maximum temperature of around 33 degrees and minimum temperature of 15 degrees Celsius. Chandigarh will have mainly clear sky with the temperature rising from a minimum of 17 degrees Celsius to a maximum of 35 degrees. Hyderabad with a partly cloudy sky may have a maximum temperature of 37 degrees Celsius while it registered a minimum of 23 degrees. Ahmedabad will see clear sky with upper level of temperature going up to 41 degrees Celsius. In Patna, the temperature will move from a minimum of 19 degrees Celsius to a maximum of nearly 36 degrees Celsius. And Guwahati will have partly cloudy sky with maximum temperature of nearly 35 degrees and minimum temperature of 17 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bangladesh counterpart Sheikh Hasina signing key bilateral pacts is the story that dominates headlines this morning. Modi holds talks with Hasina. Two sides signed 5 MOUs, writes the statesman. The pioneer quoting Modi writes, meeting with Hasina productive. TMC BJP Khela begins. 80% vote in Bengal Phase 1, 77% in Assam, reports the Indian Express. Day after threat to shoot protesters in the head, Myanmar junta kills 114, informs the Times of India. Biden invites 40 world leaders for climate talks, observe Hindustan Times, adding Modi, Xi, Putin among invitees. Trials begin for Serum Institute of India's new jab Covax to hit market by September, states a pioneer. President Covind stable, shifted to AIIMS for heart surgery, informs the Asian Age. On the India-England ODI series, the Tribune writes, India versus England in series decided tonight. And finally, the Financial Express quoting India at United Nations right, supplied more shots globally than vaccinated own people.
And now, before I end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program at 11 a.m. today. India and Bangladesh say partnership between two countries evolved as a model for bilateral relations for entire region. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bangladeshi counterpart Sheikh Hasina jointly inaugurate new passenger train between two countries. West Bengal records more than 82% voter turnout and Assam over 77% in the first phase of assembly elections. 2 terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces in Shopian district of Jammu and Kashmir. Gujarat government makes negative RT-PCR report must to enter the state from 1st of April amid surge in coronavirus cases. India crosses milestone of administering over 6 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine. Registration of pilgrims for Amarnath Yatra to start on the 1st of April. In cricket, India will take on England in the third and final ODI in Pune this afternoon. And in badminton, Indian pair of Krishna Prasad Garga and Vishnu Bardhan enters men's doubles finals of the Orleans Masters in Paris. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.